This is my old discus aquarium. I moved my discus out of this 75-gallon aquarium and moved them to another tank. This tank right now, it's not scaped right or properly at all right now, because it's basically like a holding tank for future plans and growing out some fish. So what we're going to be doing today is going to Underground Aquatics to pick up a new fish to add to this aquarium. And also, you guys don't really know what type of fish are in this aquarium other than what you see right now. So we're also going to cover what fish are actually inside this aquarium. So let's head over to Underground Aquatics and see what fish we're picking up. And we're here. We're at Underground Aquatics, and the fish we're going to be taking a look at is actually right here. All right, so here's Chris. You saw him on the last video. And Chris is going to tell us a little bit about these guys.
So these are the red-tailed Payara, which is not the true Armatus, the river monster one.
Yeah, because those guys get huge.
Yeah, these do get big as well, around 18 to 24 inches, but they are smaller than the Armatus, and they get a nice red tail, very similar body shape like all the other Payaras.
Yeah. And these guys, I've known about these fish obviously, but I didn't really know that there was this many species of them. And I always obviously looked at the river monster one that got to like 3 feet, massive teeth, comes out of its mouth. These are a little bit more doable in regards to an aquarium. I also read that like when these guys are in a smaller tank, let's say, or with like not heavy in numbers, they are a little bit aggressive with each other. There are 3 of them inside this aquarium. This is only a 40-gallon breeder, so they are a little bit nicked up, but taking them home into that 75-gallon tank we looked at a little bit earlier in this video, they'll definitely be able to heal up real nice. So Chris is just gonna throw some pellets in. We're actually gonna see these guys eat some pellets. Wow. It's very uncommon to see these guys eat pellets like this. They usually, if you see them in a fish store somewhere, they usually eat live. And it's very hard to get them onto pellets. And you could see, the second the pellets hit the water, they ate right away. This is actually the Armatus. This is the one that gets humongous. This guy gets to be like 30 inches, or I'm sorry, like 30 or 36 inches, which is like
something like that.
3 feet. And it has like the teeth are much bigger on this guy, but you can't see right now.
How you can tell it's a real Armatus. That little fin right by his tail.
Yep.
The real Armatus is that orange fin. No other one has that.
Really?
And the Armatus has a white outline on the tail.
All right, guys. So Chris is gonna go bag up that fish for us, and I will see you once we get home. Let's go ahead and see how our fish is acclimating. Here is the Vampire Tetra, or the Payara. He's been in here for probably about 20 minutes now. I've already put some of the tank water inside of here. But while he's still hanging out there, let's go ahead and see what else is inside of this aquarium. If you guys watched my last YouTube short or my Instagram reel, this fish will look very familiar. This is a Stormai catfish. Very cool catfish. It's out of Indonesia. And I loved it. It looks like a shark. The way it swims up and down the glass, it just looks so awesome. I went back to Underground actually after my last video doing the fish store tour. While I was editing, I actually saw this clip here, and I saw the Stormai catfish, and I said, I have to go back and ask like what that is. Like, what is that fish? This is that fish, and I bought it. We have 3 red-tailed barracuda inside the tank here. They're doing really awesome. Just like the Vampire Tetras inside of Underground Aquatics, these guys are pellet trained. And then the remaining fish inside of here were actually the survivors of the velvet that was in my aquarium. So these are all of the 125 fish, except for the fish that are now with George. So in this aquarium, like we've always had, we've had George the Oscar fish, the Zabrina pike, and my Jack Dempsey. And now we also have the 3 brown hoplo catfish in here. I wanted to add these hoplo catfish inside of here, kind of as a throwback. When George was back at my parents' house in the 125, he was with the Jack Dempsey and some hoplos. So I thought, hey, you know what? It'd be pretty cool, kind of throwing it back a little bit for the hoplos to be with George. And excuse the bubbles, guys. I have the water level a little bit low, and this hang on the back filter is making a lot of bubbles. Overall, size-wise, he's looking pretty good. I feel they're the barracuda. Checking them out. They're gonna size each other up. They're both, I believe they're both in the, I'm gonna butcher this, I'll put it up on the screen, the Chiracan family? Saracan family? I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce any of these words. But I think, so that's why they probably should kind of school together a little bit, which will probably be pretty cool. I just hope that there's not much aggression between them. As you guys could see, and like we said in the store, they were fighting a little bit with each other. I really hope that these guys don't fight, because the equipment on the Vampire Tetra is a lot stronger than the equipment on the Barracuda. Don't let it, you know, not saying the Barracuda is a limp fish. It has some pretty nasty teeth of its own. But the Vampire Tetra definitely does have a lot more damaging teeth, as you guys can see there. You know, usually once you put a new fish in the tank, if there's gonna be aggression, it usually happens right away. I think they're all kind of just like sizing each other up. On my next video, I'm gonna do an around the island update of all the aquariums. The discus, they're doing really well. It's probably my best well-scaped tank I've ever had, but the discus are still kind of settling in and are still like a little bit like hiding and such. But they should be good for next week. So next week when I come out with a video, we'll do an around the island update, and I'll show you all the updates of all the aquariums. We'll also get an update on how these fish are doing in here as well. I do hope you enjoyed us going to Underground Aquatics today, seeing the fish that are inside this aquarium, and seeing this very cool Vampire Tetra.